feels like there has been a fair amount of success for ZEST in general. Yeah, mostly wins here in the last month or so. Few of the ones that he has not been able to do. He lost 3-0 to Dong Reiku. He lost 2-0 to MaxPax. MaxPax in the ESL Open Cup Europe. So ZEST wasn't able to win the European edition. But he was able to win the Americas edition. It looks like right now both players are going to try and spin up rather aggressive openings. As Stimpack on the way, alongside Blink as well. This is actually just going to be really, really fast here. So yeah, 4-gate. It's going to be 4-gate Blink. This is just where ZEST is thriving today. So with an early Stimpack and Combat Shield, this could be the kind of response that Cure needs to adequately deal with this. We will have to keep in mind what is happening here for both players. Cure does have a very, very strong timing here. Now, with this being 3 barracks pressure, this is going to be very strong push here. What it lacks, though, is medevacs. So Stimpack and Combat Shield going to be finishing up here rather soon. It's actually going to come with a great scout by ZEST. Good scan is going to eliminate that. These units are going to hit a little bit before Stimpack. This is a kind of a scary moment here. Blink is already done for ZEST. Cure cannot push in extra here. He's also going to take extra damage here. That means that Stimpack is going to be that much more devastating to Cure's army here, as he is going to try and stutter step forward here. Does come the blink backwards as Stimpack is executed, and Cure's not going to be able to stick around. This is exactly what you have to be afraid of if you are the Terran player in this situation, because you don't have any way to really stay in the aggression. You have to get maybe 1 or 2 stims out of this army, and you have to back all the way up. Otherwise, all of these stalkers will just immediately pick away at the unit count, and it becomes a losing match very, very quickly for the Terran player. Okay, this is going to be a nice little sandwich here, waiting for that blink to happen, and now it does, so we will be able to stutter step onto this force here. ZEST is going to get caught completely out. That is the kind of engagement that Cure was hoping to do, like around here on the map. Oh, but once again, the follow-up scout happening. So the position of the army is going to be perfect. There's going to be sentries. A beautiful scan up onto the high ground will eliminate that fear of accidentally stimming and dividing half of your army. Cure gets a good situation, but by no means does this give him position in this game, because the third base is already done. Good force fields will keep this back at home. That command center is only halfway done at this point. Oh, this is not the way Cure was hoping to start this game number 1. He's going to try and double down back behind it with some concussive shell marauders. Now we do have medevacs, so the stims are not going to be nearly as deadly to the army. But ZEST has bought himself a fair amount of time here. He's got extended thermal lance on the way. 1 Colossus already down on the ground. +1 incoming alongside the +1 of his opponent in Cure. So the upgrade advantage is going to be in ZEST's favor in a little bit of... or actually it's going to be in Cure's favor in just a little bit of time. But I think he's going to try and... oh, it does get divided anyways. Fortunately, though, with the medevacs, that's not going to be nearly as scary. Kyor's still in an okay spot, at least supply-wise here. If we look at that income graph, though, it does start to wrestle very, very strongly into ZEST's favor. So I think the longer this game goes on, the better this becomes for the red Protoss player. He is going to transition and get himself his Dark Shrine back behind it. ZEST trying getting a little bit of scouting done. We'll be able to get in with the Phoenix and see the production here, mostly bio, so we can continue setting himself up here. ZEST gets the scan. Oh, just outside of scan range. Doesn't quite grab the observer. I mean, this is a fair amount of Colossus, though, and that is a deadly choke. Now, is this going to be a punishing enough position here for these tanks? Units are going to try and lift on up. It's a matter of where they want to lift to, and ZEST is able to just really hold this position. And this is going to be the push that Kyor needs to be worried about, but he's not going to be able to even see it until right now. Oh, ZEST should be able to just bulldoze this over. Kyor, what kind of damage can you get done as of this moment? He loses one of those medevacs to a big blink forward. Can he wrap things up back at home? He's losing workers as a result of the defense. One tank still alive. I think that will eventually get picked up here. But look at the worker counts go down. 30-something workers. These have been all destroyed. There's just no good way to defend this back at home. He's going to lose every single worker. 63 worker kills. Are you kidding me? Zealots in every baseline. Wow. Talk about a push from ZEST. And ZEST holds back at home. GG is called. ZEST takes game number 1 with convincing fashion. Now, do I think he's going to run back the 3 barracks build? No. I don't think he's going to run that back, at least not in game number 2. Not when it got shut down as cleanly as it did. Pretty high probability that we will just see a normal command center timing down here on the low ground. And I think that's exactly what's going to be the case. Was he going to be able to grab that? Oh, just at the edge of its range. Yeah, this should be a pretty stock standard opening for Kyor. But I would be willing to guess that ZEST is probably going to run back the exact same Blink Stalker build that he's been doing in all of his games today. I guess game number 3 against Gumiho, he didn't do the push behind it. Instead of 4-gate, it was 3-gate. But it was still a pretty strong timing regardless. Kyor tired after the ESL Open? He might be. I mean, ZEST would just be as tired, right? Because both ZEST and Kyor played the same amount, and they won the same amount. Kyor won the European Open, ZEST won the American Open. So I think if we're counting the ESL runs into play, I'd say both Kyor and ZEST are on equal footing. ZEST is used to the gen cycle. Kyor played more? Okay. If maybe by like a series or 2. It's all good. Yeah, I think ZEST is just going to run the 4-gate once again. Here comes Blink. It is at 3, though. Where's that 4th gate at? All right, ZEST, come on, give us one more. Give us the content. That's just going to be 3-gate. So this might not be as hyper-aggressive. But this is the map. I mean, this is the map for Protoss players. We talked about this in the map with Gumiho. And again, I'm going to knock on wood and hope that I can keep things posted together here. ZEST's going to have that scouting pylon. If you plant the tank up over here, I mean, it's really not going to be able to protect that right-hand corner. So that's going to be a jump up. There's the 4-gate. All right, but we do have a we do have Cure coming in with a drop, and that's going to be spotted. Beautiful. So mines against Blink Stalkers. Not going to be exactly what Cure is hoping for here, but will he find some damage from these drops? Actually, a fair amount there. Grabbing 4 of those workers. That's about probably the best that he could have asked for. So I think he makes the most of it on the end. Kind of washed out. If we look at the battle report there, it's pretty good for Cure, all things considered. But now it's the timing that he has to be able to deal with, and 1 tank and a Raven. Not sure how I'm feeling here. How did Gumiho and Lenok look? Gumiho did his best, but Cure just kind of bulldozed him, and I would say that Lenok did about the same. All right, this is the timing here. Big Blink up onto the high ground here. A nice amount of juggling with this Warp Prism here. The Raven doesn't have any energy. It can't do any disrupting. So now these Blink Stalkers are going to be able to blink back forward so that they can dodge as much damage as humanly possible. They will work into the mineral line here and try and find as much economic damage as they possibly can. Picking up a couple of tanks and 5 workers is okay. Not terrible. If Cure can land some good damage here, though, he will be able to equalize that, but instead, he's going to get the Widow Mine out at the absolute last moment. Not the piece of damage that he was hoping for here. All in all, on the exchange, it looks like Cure comes ahead a little bit. But now this Widow Mine will be able to plop down on that 3rd base location. So if ZEST wanted to try and expand, he would be blocked for at least a little bit of time. That's a bit annoying. I think for the most part, I mean, this is pretty well defended by Cure. Yeah, ZEST invested a lot into trying to make that happen. Wait, where did that mine go? Did the mine get killed? It must have. Oh, he's got to be careful. He can't afford to let those kinds of kills go. ZEST's getting a lot of damage done with these Stalkers here. I didn't expect those to actually continue barreling down, but I think ZEST has to try and find any damage he can here. He is effectively behind in tech and supply, just in general. He's going to try and close that gap here. He is grabbing charge for his Zealots, +1 incoming as well. He was researching extended thermal lands, but I think that might just be a bit of folly at this point. He needs to invest in other places because this army is going to come charging across the map. 63 to 47. Once +1 and concussive shells finish up, that is going to be a very, very scary push here for Cure, as he already has what he needs here. He has a set of units dropping into the main here. The medevac does get killed, but it does come at the cost of a lot of those units, and now this main force of Cure is going to be able to start working away at ZEST's 3rd base location here. That Warp Prism is dangerously low as well. It's not going to be able to juggle as efficiently as it otherwise could here, and we're going to see Cure push down his opponent. He says, nuh-uh, we're going to drag this out just like we did yesterday. Game number 2 goes to our Blue Terran player. We head on to Blackburn for game number 3. Spawning in the bottom left, it is our Blue Terran player. Dragon Phoenix Gaming. This is Cure. And spawning into the bottom right, also for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, our Red Protoss player. This is ZEST. Also, big shout out to Chance. Thank you so much, Chance, for the raid. Really do appreciate that. Didn't get a chance to recognize that in the last series, and I see that now in the activity chat. So thank you once again. Really do appreciate the support. Losing 5 probes on mines, 3 less stalkers on the aggression. It does make a difference. It's very true. especially in the early game. I mean, at any point in a StarCraft match, really, but in the first 5-6 minutes, it does make a huge difference. Picking off just a few workers can exactly be the difference between, oh, my push worked, and oh, I got squashed. Now, Kior is gonna barricade himself in here. He gets the wall up in time, so that probe's not gonna get additional scouting. And we don't see an additional gas just yet, so we're gonna have to keep close eye on that situation. Nice little wall happening over here for the Protoss player. ZEST doesn't want that Reaper harassment to be a part of the game, so he's just gonna decide to eliminate it altogether. You can Reaper jump with the grenade on that corner. I don't know where you're going to jump to. Okay. Pop yourself over here. On the bottom. Oh. Very interesting. That'd be a cool little micro trick to see. Seems like we're not going to get that from Cure, though, as he is going to build those additional barracks here. He is getting his base built up on the high ground. But it is just double barracks right now. So not going to be as aggressive as the 3 barracks push here in game number 1. But will ZEST be able to really spot this? He should be able to see at the wall, but he's not going to be able to see much past that. Eventually the command center is going to come into play, and that should give some indication on what position this is going into. Not sure if he's too worried about proxy voids, mostly because he's not doing a lot of scouting. I mean, if you were super worried about proxy void, you'd have a lot of eyes on that location. He only really ever got out this far with any of his units, so. So all in all, it is just going to be an Oracle opener here for ZEST. With the large amount of Marines, provided they stay at home, should be able to deflect that. Oh, yeah, that's actually probably the best case scenario here for Cure. ZEST takes just a little extra second there to try and deal some extra damage, but not going to be able to find it. He's going to have to settle for 3 workers, at least for right now. And then it's just going to be follow-up into the Twilight Council. So no additional significant amounts of air units. I think we had 1 Phoenix. So there's going to be 2 Oracles and a Phoenix, I think. Oh, no, he canceled the Phoenix. He had one going. He had a Phoenix going at one point. He must have canceled it in lieu of the Oracle. Yeah, both Cure and ZEST have had a lot of StarCraft in the last 24 hours here. Both of them winning one of the ESL Open Cups. Great positioning by those Marines. That should shove that all the way off, because especially the nice part that he dealt damage to the full health Oracle. Now, did Cure leave any of his Marines back at home? No. There is a missile turret, though, so that should be rather mitigated all in all. Where did those medevacs go? They're there. Oh, but there's nothing up in the main. Because there are some Marines, but those are a bit out of position here. Cure is going to be able to come on in here. Blink is not quite done since all of those tech structures were delayed. That one medevac just outside of range, but not too far for the other one. It does get picked off. Oh, this is a very scrappy back and forth so far. Cure deflecting a little bit of damage by the stasis trap in his natural. Those Oracles still finding a lot of value. So now when you have to try and fight with 1 medevac worth of Marines instead of 2, this suddenly becomes a very, very losing battle. ZEST is going to feel much more confident here. The army supplies are even, but I'd have to say that ZEST has the better composition set up. He is going to have Blink finishing up just in a moment. It's now complete. And against just Marines and one tank, I can't say that this army is going to really be too afraid of that. He is going to play cautiously. Oh, he's looking for those oracles. He wants that oracle bad. He's just going to pull his entire army out of position, though. I don't think ZEST has any read on that, unfortunately. I think if ZEST did, he'd be moving much more aggressively forward, because he would have a decent advantage. Well, but here comes the nice little timing. Blink's going to be useful here. It's going to deal a little bit of damage, and he's just going to blink away. But Cure is going to try and bring the pain over to Zest's side of the map. Are there additional warp-ins available? We have 2 on the way, 3 in total. That's not that much. So every stalker that goes down here is very crucial damage for Cure. That's going to try and delay this as long as humanly possible. There is a disruptor in the production tab, and he just needs to buy enough time for that +1 to finish. But both players are going to get their +1 around the same time. Charge just about to finish up, though. Do we have any zealots out on the map? No zealots! No zealots. Charge would be really, really helpful against an army like this, but it's going to be a tough situation. 1 disruptor to rule them all. It's perched, ready to go. ZEST is going to get a decent scout off with the incoming additional units, but this is going to be a very difficult position to punish here for ZEST. He's going to have a lot of his valuable tech here. The Cyber Core is going to be under attack. He loses the Cyber Core, it's only going to be Zealot production and a robotics facility production for the next little while. And you don't get a disruptor shot down there. I'm sorry, those disruptor shots just don't jump. Am I crazy, or is this on X2 speed? This is live, large, and in charge, baby. What's going on, Maples? Oh, this is a very, very punishing position to try and play into. These tanks have completely wedged themselves in. There's no additional Cyber Core on the way as well, so this is just robotics facility production and zealots at this point. Oh, that 1 disruptor going to try and sneak in on the backside, but there are scouting units to make this that much more difficult. Cure's just going to slow push this slowly but surely. The tanks are going to come up to the high ground. That 1 disruptor is going to try and get on top of that army, but it's going to come at the cost of the Colossus, and the disruptor goes down on top of it. Cure has such a punishing position right now. I don't think that Zest's going to be able to break this push here. He's got a good look on the 3rd base location, but it's not coming. It doesn't matter at this point. Cure is all in on this push, and as it sits right now, he is in a great position to capitalize on it. Again, no additional stalkers are being brought in. There is no Cyber Core. Now we have one of those Artosis pylons going down, so this has to get shut down. It's got to be shut down now. One of the tanks on the high ground does get dealt with. The Liberators will be taken care of as well. But again, there's just nothing to deal with these 4 tanks that are here. Good Revelation gets a chance to look at the army, but Zest has lost so much back behind this. He's trying to reproduce those gateways, and the gateways are not going to get up in just in time. Cure, he just needs to be able to see the deal here. And I think continuing to hold this position is the answer that he seeks. The Cybernetics Core finally going to try and get replaced here, but that's still going to be about a minute away from finishing up. And Zealots are not going to be able to deal with this. Like, that, just case in point. This Oracle's trying to get a little bit of harassment damage dealing with the reinforcements, but once again, this is just going to be delaying the inevitable. 1 more warp gate's going to get picked off. That's going to limit the amount of warp gates to 5. Finally now the Cyber Core has been finished, so additional stalkers can be warped in. Is this going to be enough? Can Zest shut this down? I don't think he can. Cure 136 to 84. He has a double the army supply. His 3rd base has gone down. He's got a much better economic position over his opponent, and I think this is just delaying the inevitable here. Tanks just have a free-for-all on where they can shoot. ZEST just doesn't have any hope to deal with this at this point. Additional tanks get brought up to the high ground, and with all of the tanks on the high ground, that means Cure is going to be able to shove on forward. These units don't have a prayer of defending anymore. Cure on match point, looking to revenge himself over his opponent. Currently 2-1 in this best of 5. On their final tournament life here in this Into the Alpha X Super Series. Our red Protoss player needs to win 2 in a row if he would like to be today's Super Series champion for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. This is ZEST. And spawning into the top right. Our blue Terran player, 1 game away from exacting revenge against his opponent. This is Cure for Dragon Phoenix Gaming. I like how ZEST is already into the main. Like, I'm not even done with my intros, man. You're over here harassing? How dare you? Have some patience. Have some respect. Need to trade favorably during the initial setup. Yeah, in all reality, like memes aside, that ends up being the the keys to success there for ZEST. The Cybercore going down is like an understood loss there, because you do need to use that Cybercore if you want to zone off against the Reaper harass from the initial outsets of the game. But then at that point, you just have to rebuild that Cybercore, and I think he just rebuilt it a bit too late. But also you have to try and get as many of those tanks out of the initial push as possible, because the tanks are what make that push actually happen. So if you can shut down more of those tanks, that ends up being a better scenario for you in that position, and then ZEST can just macro out of it, because he had a third base for much longer than his opponent. That's my personal assessment of the situation. Yeah, so we could just boil it down to Terran OP as well. Yeah, that's gonna get the Keck W's in chat. Terran's just OP, guys. There was nothing to do. David Cam, please stop working on your new game and come back to this old game. Please. Please, sir. Yeah, Zest wants to go to a game number 5. He's just gonna blink all in again. Buff Protoss? No. You get out of here. You get out of here with that hot take. Yeah. Please adjust the bunker build time again. I think that's what's really gonna fix things up. What was it? Was it Demuslim that mentioned on Twitter? It was either Demuslim or TLO. I can't remember. That said that they asked pro players what kind of balance changes that they would want, and then it was just a who's who of people saying ridiculous changes, myself included, I will admit. But we just got all sorts of great meme-worthy balance proposals. StarCraft 2 needs a new race. I mean, at this point, StarCraft 2 has been around for almost 11 years. It should be 11 years this week, right? I doubt we're going to get a new race at this point. That would be for a new game. Nah, that ain't it. In any case. Could you give us a few examples? Not off the top of my head, but here, I can give you this example. There's mines! Quick! Hello? Cure? Hello? Hello? Hi, I'm calling about the extended warranty on your medevac here. Taking terrible damage there. Now, he did get 4 probes, but for the cost of 3 and the medevac, I did. What's that? Huh. Okay, we're probably going to a game 5. I mean, the tank's coming out though. There's a second tank on the way. Oh, you know, I actually like this position better for Cure. I'm not saying that Cure is in it good right now, but this is better than it could have been. Yeah, I think this is going to be a hold. Having the double bunker down at the natural is a really big play here. I mean, that plays 100% into what ZEST was building. If ZEST doesn't go that build, that's a waste of resources. But because the blink all-in was on its way, it now pays dividends. He can salvage it if he needs to, and he gets the positioning that he needs. So we'll be able to get the bio upgrades back behind it. Stim pack on the way, alongside combat shield +1 as well. We do have charge and +1 incoming for ZEST on top of it. I mean, other than the questionable Widowmine drop, Cure's playing remarkably well here in game number 4. He's up supply-wise. He's got a decent economic position. In fact, that's going to lean into his advantage here. And now he has enough units to be able to hold off of this push. Tactical pause. It's not because I'm lagging. Let's get excited, chat. Here. Let's just look at my beautiful face for a moment. Well, I mean, ugh, it's terrible. Hope you guys are having a good stream today. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Really do appreciate it. I guess if he had to trade the poor mine drop for the beautifully executed defense on the opposite side, I suppose that is fine. But ultimately, you don't just toss away the mine drop. It seems silly. But yeah, somehow, some way, he managed to get 4 probe kills. It still ended up being pretty good. Okay, is one tank? Oh, I guess there's a little bit of bio there to defend as well. So that should be relatively okay. Cure's got a strong push coming up here. Now, there are force fields available. Those force fields might end up playing to disadvantage here for ZEST if that's going to allow those tanks to get sieged up into position. Why the pause? We'll never know. We'll never know. All right, one tank in range, almost in firing range here of the base. Are going to be additional units streaming across the map. Additional tanks brought in as well. The more tanks that come along with this push, the better off it's going to be. Raven should be able to get a disable on one of the Colossus for sure, but here come the wraparound units of ZEST. In fact, actually, I don't know if those are going to wrap around. Those are just going to run to the opposite side of the map because there is not a lot back at home for Cure. So this has done a ton of damage in the past. Can ZEST make it work once again? Yeah, there are no units. Yeah, all of the workers have to get pulled up. Okay, there are tanks on the high ground, so the main base will be defended. This Nexus is going to get dangerously low here. ZEST is just choosing not to react. That Orbital Command going to take some damage down on the low ground. That should just get lifted up, though, before it lights on fire. So that's not a big deal. I was going to say, ZEST, what are you waiting for? Here's your time. Oh, he was waiting for the wraparound here. The Zealots on the backside of this army should be able to get some good damage done. But a lot of those units do get interfered with, and that will allow this bio to try and deal a decent amount of damage here. A few of those Colossus do go down. There are reinforcements that Cure can retreat to, so if he can hang on to the medevacs, he should be in an okay position. Losing that Colossus would be, again, a non-negotiable. Additional warping's going to happen on top of it. Does Cure have what he needs? Zest is able to push back further and further here. This base is going to be very, very exposed. Why is it floating forward? Cure! Game number 5 is incoming. Zest, best at the recovery here. And we will have a rubber mash to see who will be today's champion. Well played. So our final map of the day. Spawning in the top left of Light Shade. It's our blue Terran player looking to exact revenge over his opponent from yesterday. Dragon Phoenix Gaming's Cure. 2 codes remaining. Two. We can do it, chat. You can do it. And spawning in the bottom right. It's our red Protoss player, also for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, looking to exact yet another series win over his opponent. This is ZEST. How do I keep this up? Oh, I can't see it. Details. We've done it. One more hero. Who's gonna be our hero? Who can be our hero, baby? Not the Protoss player, though. Don't have to be a Protoss player to be today's hero. Ooh, very, very early Nexus. I like it. Oh, it's not so early. There's a cyber core. Whoops. Oh no, the caster made a mistake, guys. On the internet, no less. How will he ever recover? Love my energy. Thank you. I try to bring a nice energy here. It's 8 o'clock. It's now a reasonable time for humans to be awake in the United States. The coffee has finally infused its caffeine into my bloodstream. Good stuff. Got one more code to claim, guys. You can do it. You can do it. Exclamation point Maturino. I believe in you. It's done! It's done! The editor's probably like, why? It's okay. Thank you, chat. Thank you for getting all those coupon codes used. I'm so proud of you. As a prize, Zest is going to do another Blink All-In. Yes! That's what we came here for! Let's do it. Okay, so does Cure go into the same style of defense here? He does have one bunker down on the low ground, but I wouldn't be surprised to see an additional get brought into the mix. So I think that's an important thing to keep an eye on here. It is going to be Blink once again. I mean, gosh, it's worked so many times for Zest today. Why not run it back one more time against your opponent? It's going to be another mine drop. Now, question. Can Cure stay focused? Eyes on the prize here. You're going to go for a nice little mine drop timing. He's had some very good positions in this series. And I feel like he kind of let it slip a little bit in game number 4 because the mine drop it just got ignored. So, can he make it work? Can he make it work? All right, Medevac's gonna go out. Oh. All right. Cure, don't let us down. Don't let us down, Cure. It doesn't have to win. It doesn't even have to win you the game. But do better. Okay. At least it was at least paid attention to, and the Hellions are going to come in. This is a much better engagement here. Yes, getting on top of those probes is going to be huge. 9 workers. That's a much better exchange here. Cure, we're so proud of you. We're just proud of everybody today. So Zest is going to have to follow up with a response here. Not even like trying to cheer against Zest. I'm just happy that the mine drop worked out to his defense. So now Zest, here we go. We're gonna give Zest a little bit of love. Come on, Zest, blink up in there. Get that damage done. Where's the Warp Prism at? Warp Prism's a little bit behind schedule here. Blink's already done, though. So there will be an observer back behind this. I think Cure trying to avoid getting anything dropped on top of him. Medevac's still alive. Amazing. But now ZEST is going to have a significant amount less of units. It's only one bunker, but I think only one bunker is probably fine. Okay, ZEST, what are you going to get done here? Good target fire onto the SCVs here. The tank is out of range, so that tank is going to not be effective here until it stutter steps forward. But that's 9 workers. That's a fair exchange. That's a fair exchange. It's going to be additional damage here. Zest's going to try and find more and more. He's building a robotics bay and a forge back behind it. Stim, not quite done. The tank position, unfortunate here for Cure. I think Cure was preparing for the jump up in the space, but on Lightshade, this is easy to defend. There's no real reason for Zest to go here first and foremost. He might do it on the draw. Depends on what he sees as he comes up here. He's going to be able to get a good blink position. Can they blink that gap? I don't think he wants to. I think that tank is yeah, just good enough. So the follow-up tank position is much better here, but how do we determine who is going to come ahead here? The income advantage is almost identical. The army sizes are pretty close. Zest does have a significant number more workers. He is up 12, but again, mules are pretty good in closing that gap. So additional SCVs in production will help with that, but look at Cure's army supply, 51 to 35. That medevac's just going to go unchecked at this point. Zest wants to find additional worker kills at this point. The Stalkers will try to wrap around and find the additional damage. So picking off 2 more workers, I mean, it all adds up at this point in the game. Now that we start hitting the mid-game, things are going to be a little less scary for minute damage. It's a very powerful moment for Cure. Cure is going to push with Stimpack. He's got Combat Shield, he has Stimpack, he has Medevacs, he has what he needs to be successful here, and against an opponent that only has 11 Stalkers. There are 2 Colossus, though. Did the Colossus have extended thermal lance? Not quite. That will be finishing up here very, very soon. Where are the batteries? How many batteries are there? 1, 2. There are 2. 1 Colossus gets disabled from the get-go. That's going to allow those tanks to get a nice siege position here, but will they be able to hold this spot? The shield battery is going to get not immediately tapped down, but the shield battery overcharge is going to get burnt pretty quickly here. It's a 20 army supply difference here for the Protoss player. Does he have what he needs to be able to deal with this? 1 Colossus has already gone down. The second one's already getting juggled here. The tanks are starting to get rather low. 2 of those tanks in red health, but it's too much. Cure has the push. He exacts revenge over his Protoss opponent, and he is your Super Series champion, 3-2.